Saxon Algebra 2, Lesson 70, Advanced Abstract Equations. Everything's advanced and complex with you guys these days. I hope that makes you feel smart. It should. Reminder that when we get to the review problem this week, I'm going to be testing you on formulas and trig formulas and the 30, 60, 90 formula will be in there for sure, all right? Because we're going to get a new formula. I'll probably do that one too. In lesson 71, we're going to get a really cool, the quadratic formula, and I want to make sure you've got that baby locked in. So you'll want to make sure you know trig formulas, and by that I mean sine, cosine, tangent. Oscar had a hold over Arthur. And then I will want you to also be able to say opposite over hypotenuse. So I know you know what those words mean and you don't just memorize the story about the dude in the alley. Adjacent over hypotenuse and opposite over adjacent. Then I will also want you to draw me a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which is this little sugar plum. 30, 60, oh, I don't have to write 90 because this means 90. 1, 2, square root of 3. So this I will want you to know. And then from lesson 71, we're going to be reviewing the quadratic formula. And that looks like this. X equals minus b plus or minus. Okay? So we haven't covered this yet, but I do want this, I want you to have this memorized by the time you chat with me on Thursday or Friday, okay? We did this last year, so it should be in your brain quite nicely. Okay, now let's talk about lesson 70. This was all just for the review problem. Lesson 70. Ready? You can pause me if you need more time to copy that. I went really fast. Solve for B. These are the kind of problems where if John doesn't tell us what to solve for, we have no clue because it's just a bunch of letters floating around. That's the problem. All right. So we have to solve this for B. The first thing we have to do is distribute and then get rid of our denominators. Those are our two goals, and it's usually easier to do it in that order. So let's distribute first. X equals, we can make this P over A plus MP over B. I'm always going to go alphabetical in that numerator. Okay, now 2, we blow up the denominator. I'm going to have to squeeze. Denominator. Okay, our least common multiple is A times B. Luckily, it's cute. So we have to multiply everybody by A times B. So we'll get ABX equals, now the A's cancel, so it'll be BP plus amp. Beautiful, right? Third step, we rearrange because we want to get all of the letter that we're interested in, B, we want to get all of those on one side. So let's subtract BP and get him over here. ABX minus BP equals amp. Fourth step is to factor. And we want to factor out our cute little friend here. B times the quantity, AX minus P equals amp. And then I'm going to divide away this part, right? I'm going to divide both sides by that. So that will be B equals, this will be the numerator, amp. And then this will be the denominator. Sorry, I didn't have room to show that step as clearly as I might have liked, but I think you remember how that works. Amp over AX minus P, beautiful. Okay, so what we did that was trickier this time is that we had to distribute before we could get rid of the denominators. It's not that big of a deal, you're smart, you can handle it. Let's do one more and then we're done with lesson 7D. Example 70.2. Ready? Find C. Okay. Gracie's having some sort of a nibble fest over there on the couch. She's been biting herself for the past 3 problems. Driving me slightly nuts. But, you know, it's not her job to protect my sanity, so it's okay. Okay. There it is in all its raging glory. Let me just double check to make sure I didn't copy it wrong. Yes. Okay. I can see this is going to give us drama because now we have a binomial in our denominator, right? Last time we just had 2 plain letters. Yeah. Okay, fine. We can deal with it. Okay, so what are our steps? First, we distribute. Brump, brump. Ready? XP equals, I'm going to go alphabetical, BM over 1 plus C plus AM over, no, not MP, just P. Okay? Sometimes it does help if you're getting wonky with your distribution, put it over a 1 so you can see, oh yeah, the 1 is what gets distributed to the denominators, not the top. That was me being crazy. Okay, now we're ready to blow up our denominators. We need an LCM. We can't combine those except to multiply, so it's going to be 1 plus C times P. All right. So now we have to write that by each one of these. Oh my gosh, this is so much work. Right? None of that cancels. This is the one where the gross part cancels. And then there just the P cancels. Okay, so what do we do about this big mess? What we do is we multiply everybody on the outside together. So we're going to have P squared X times the quantity 1 plus C. What? That's horrifying, right? Equals BMP plus AM times the quantity 1 plus C. So here's the fresh hell I've created for us. Because we had a denominator with a binomial in it, an addition, a sum, if you will, we had to multiply that across the top, and then that is creating that binomial or sum or quantity, so many names for it, in the numerator. And so now we have to distribute again to clean that up. Doesn't that just seem unreasonable? Okay, so we're going to have to do that. And we're going to have to do that. All right. P squared X times 1 plus CP squared X equals bump plus AM plus ACM. All right. Now we're ready to rearrange. C is what we want. So let's see, there's 1 and there's another. So let's collect the C's over here. So let's do minus ACM, and then minus p squared x minus p squared x. This is the one that cancels. That's the one that cancels. So now we have c p squared x minus acm. Look, I didn't write it. I said it, but I didn't write it. Equals, bump, plus am. That cancels, minus p squared x. Okay. So good, right? All right, now we can factor out our c's, and we'll have p squared x minus am. All this is the same. And then we have to divide by this. This was the step that I didn't show last time. Right? And this all cancels. So I'm not going to rewrite that. I'm just going to write equals c over here. And this is our answer. But I want to show you something that's really frustrating. There's an am, there's an am, there's a p squared x, there's a p squared x. Doesn't it seem like we ought to be able to cancel somehow? But we can't because all of these things are being added or subtracted, added as a negative number. They're being added, they're not being multiplied, and we can't factor them out. If we could factor them, then we could cancel. But we're not factoring, we're adding. Like that's what we did here, right? We factored and that allowed us to cancel that part out. But we can't do that over here. So this is our final answer. Let me just double check it. John says MBP, same, plus MA, same, minus XP squared, same, over XP squared, same, minus MA, same. So this is our final answer. It's the best we can do. I don't know if this looked worse than this, but this is considered the simplified version. Okay, good job. I will see you next time for lesson 71. Make sure you remember to memorize your formulas, y'all, because I want you to get 5 out of 5 on your review problem next week. Okay, I'm done. Goodbye.